Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hari Hari Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavad Gita Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavad Gita Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Radha Ras Bihari Radha Ras Bihari Radhe Srila Prabhupada Pradhana Oh Srila Prabhupada Pradhana Jaya Radha Ras Bihari Radha Ras Bihari Radhe Oh Jaya Radha Ras Bihari Radha Ras Bihari Radhe Jaya Sitaram 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 Lakshmana Hanuman Jaya Goranitai Goranitai Patita Pavana Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Gora Hari Jai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Gora Hari Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय 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 विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस शिला भय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज जगत विष्णुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस विजयकाचार्य स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस शिला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज जगत विष्णुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नमस्कार श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरी गोवर्धन की ब्रज भूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय श्री नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय श्री पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद ट्रांसजेंडर बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय युग धर्म श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga all glories to Shri Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Cheva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswati Vyasam
Tato Jayamudire
Tato Jayamudire
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nashtarayeshu Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki
Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajevam Sadhaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahityam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshakarine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshavanavi Devi Daitaye Tripatale Krishna Sambandha Vidyana Daine Prabhave Namah Madhuryochara Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namastute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddhava Siddhanta Dvantarine Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambhute Padambujayate Namah Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate Gauraja Bhuviswam Nitesta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannatayate Namah Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahapranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Krishi Namah Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam भक्तावतार भक्ताख्यम नमामि भक्त शक्तिकम हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते जयतां सुरतो पन्गो मम मन्दा मतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्य पदाम्भोजो राधा मदन मोहनम् दिव्यवृन्दारण्य कल्पद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नाकरसिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद् राधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवो कृष्णादिति सेव्यमानं स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भे वंशीवटतटस्थितः लक्ष्मणेन्दुस्मरेर्गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रीयेस्तुनः तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. We are discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter number 11, calculation of time from the atom. So this is Maitreya Muni preaching to whom? Vidura. Preaching to Vidura. And again they are discussing about creation. And we discussed that this is important to know about creation again and again to understand that the Lord Krishna is behind everything, that Krishna is the source of creation, and B, therefore, whatever belongs to us, quote unquote, belongs to us, is ultimately given by Krishna and to be used in Krishna's service. So we should feel a sense of gratitude when we understand that every single aspect of what I think belongs to me, everything, including my intelligence, is Krishna's energy. It is coming from Krishna. And therefore, it has to be used in Krishna's service. That is the purpose of telling us all these things. And the third reason for telling us all these things is to show that actually Srimad Bhagavatam has everything. And it has all this information which material science is still yet to figure out. And they probably will never figure out. But it is mentioned in our scriptures. So a lot of this is very practically we can understand. Some of it we may not. But the fact is it's there. And Srimad Bhagavatam therefore is Amal Puran. It's the topmost Puran. It is the topmost Puran for another reason. That is because Krishna's pastimes are very nicely mentioned in that. Krishna's pastimes are beautifully described in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. But all of this is there to increase our faith so that when we come to the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, without a shadow of a doubt, we can understand, yes, Krishna can do all these things. If he can do all this, he can do all that. All this is actually nothing for Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, अथवा बहुतैनेन किं ज्ञातेन तव अर्जुन विस्तिजाम idam krishnam ekam stena sthito jagat. He tells Arjuna, what is the use of discussing all these things? All this entire creation actually is just a fragment of my energy. Just with a small speck of my energy, I have created all these material worlds. So can't that individual lift Govardhan Hill? Can't that individual show the entire creation in his mouth to his mother? Can't that individual, as a 3-month-old baby, start killing demons? Can't that individual expand himself into 16,108 forms to reciprocate with the loving desires of the queens of Dwarka? Obviously, he can. Right? Can't that individual expand into every living entity's heart as Paramatma? So this is not myth. This is not mythology. These are actual things, and Srimad Bhagavatam contains information of all of those things for our brain to comprehend. Srila Prabhupada says that the human brain is quite dull. Those of us who read Prabhupada's books, regularly we will come across this phrase, dull-headed human beings, dull-headed people of Kali Yuga. Prabhupada, so many times he says that. So for us to comprehend or fathom all this may be difficult, but we must put faith that mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is true. How many of us have that faith that महाविष्णु के ब्रीदिंग इन से सब अंदर चले जाता है, ब्रीद आउट से सब बाहर आता है, वापस अंदर बाहर होते रहता है. कम ऑन, ठीक है लिखा है तो हम आर्ग्यू नहीं करेंगे, बट कम ऑन. But it's true, and that is today's subject matter, the time factor. Time is not single dimensional. Just like we see in this world, there are various living entities. All of them live a full span of life, but everyone's span of life is different. A human being's average span may be whatever, but assume to live to 100 years. That same 100 years of a human being is lived in 6 hours of some insects who are born when sun sets and who die before sun rises. But for them, within that time, they live their entire life. Whatever we do in 100 years, for them, that much is like 100 years. So time is like that. So therefore, in the Bhagavatam, description of time is there. So this is actually a very technical chapter, those of you who opened the Bhagavatam and read it. But we will try to uh, not just discuss the verses, but reflect upon the influence of time in our life. That is something that is very much practical to us. Let's start with verse number 3. This is Maitreya Muni speaking to Vidura. Evam kalopyanumita syauksmye sthaule cha sattama samsthana bhuktya bhagavan avyakto vyakta bhuvibhu. One can estimate time by measuring the movements of the atomic combination of bodies. Time is the potency of the almighty personality of Godhead Hari, who controls all physical movement, although he is not visible in the physical world. Time is an energy of Krishna. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Kalosmi, I am time. And here this verse says that one can estimate time by measuring the movement of the atomic combination of bodies. This means that depending on different people, the conception of time varies. Srila Prabhupada writes in one of the purports. Someone can read?
Whether time is calculated in terms of movement of the sun. The time covered by the sun in passing over an atom is calculated as atom time. The complete calculation of the time of creation, maintenance, and dissolution, measured in terms of circulation of the total planetary system until the end of creation, is known as the supreme cause.
So here Prabhupada says that the time covered by the sun in passing over an atom is calculated as atomic time. The time sun takes to pass over an atom is calculated as atomic time. So then I went to Google and I wrote size of an atom. And it said 0.1 billionth of a meter. कितना? Of a meter. एक मीटर कितना होता? This much? Yeah, this much. Like probably this much is 1 meter. 1 meter is this much. 1 meter. Okay, this much. 3 feet is 1 meter. Thank you. 3 feet. I was just testing you how many of you are awake. So you take 3 feet. How much can you divide it into to measure? Millimeter. Millimeter से scale में आता है नीचे उससे. Millimeter. Here it says the time it takes for the sun to cross over an atom. From that time we start calculation of time, and that is 0.1 billionth that of a meter. And then these verses, they describe time from that point onwards. So the next few verses describe all this. 1 tuti is 8 divided by 13,500 seconds. 8 divided by 13,500 seconds. And it goes then to 1 paksha, which is 15 days. And 2 pakshas is 1 month. हमारा सेकंड से शुरू होता है वो 100 मीटर ओलंपिक्स में वो लोग दे हैव दैट सेकंड्स के भी बाद मिली सेकंड्स राइट एंड देन विद इन और अ फॉर्मूला 1 रेस will have within a second also they'll have like millisecond calculations, but usually do we even value seconds? We don't value days also. चलते रहता है but who cares about seconds? But here 8 divided by 13,500 seconds का भी कुछ नाम दिया है. There's a name to it. So what is one practical conclusion? There are at least 2 practical conclusions that come to my mind reading all this. You can read one Veda 8 divided by 135 seconds, one Shana 8 divided by 5 seconds, one Laghu 2 minutes, one Prahara 3 hours, one day 12 hours, one Paksha 15 days. What is some practical thought that comes into our mind when we understand that in the Bhagavatam time is measured to such a minute degree? Raise your hands. Yes? Time is valuable. Time is valuable. If someone cares to describe time to the 0.1 billionth meter, उसमें कितना टाइम लगेगा सन को जाने में? 8 divided by 13,500 seconds. Time is valuable. Some other practical realization that can come by reading this? Raise your hands. Something apart from time is valuable? Yes, Vikas Prabhu. So Krishna is time. So Krishna is time, so he is present in every minute time. Something else? Yes, Mataji. Again. But from this, one is time is important. What else can be derived from this? Time is important. We should not waste time. Time is important. Okay? Okay. Supreme personality of Godhead, from whom the creation begins as a result of the agitation of the neutral unmanifested nature. So this time is Krishna's energy. There are 5 subject matters in the Bhagavad Gita, one of which is time. So this time which makes everyone dance on its tunes can do that because that is Krishna's energy. That is Krishna. We discussed several times, I hope you remember, that in the process of creation, the primary creation, Brahma is the secondary creator. The primary creator is who? Krishna, Lord Krishna. So when the Lord glances at Pradhan, it gets agitated and it gets transformed into Mahat Tattva, and that's how creation starts. So the time factor, only when the time factor acts do things start to happen, and the time factor is Krishna. So even from a point of view of utilizing time rightly or utilizing time wrongly, we need to understand time is Krishna's energy. The second thing we can discuss about the feature of time is that it constantly changes. It constantly changes. This is a picture of leaves. In spring, in summer, leaves become green, then they change to reddish, then they change, and then eventually they will wither away and they will fall off. Time is like that. What is a verse from the Bhagavad Gita which we can quote to discuss this? Second chapter. Matra spashastu bhandeya sitoshna sukha dukkha agama payo nitya samskritikshasva bharata. Krishna tells Arjuna, like, seasons change. Happiness comes, goes, summer comes, goes. So there's constant change. There's constant change. That's the only permanent thing in life, that it changes. Therefore, out of the two definitions of, or the two features of the material world, one is Dukhalayam and the other is Ashashvatam. What does Ashashvatam mean? Temporary. Temporary means change. If things are going to change, that means they are temporary. Just look at our city now, at least the suburbs. Every second building is being torn down, is going to be reconstructed. After 50-60 years, what's going to happen? Again it's going to happen. Yesterday I was listening to a lecture of Srila Prabhupada. He was giving that lecture in New York. And he was saying, just like you have in New York, these two towers, these 200-story towers, they are so tall, and these architects feel that they have done something amazing. But one day even these will come down. Now there are many other towers in New York City which were there from before that time, which are still there. They may not come down by a plane. They will come down eventually. And then what will happen there? Something else will come. That will also change. So change. The sooner we get comfortable with this aspect of time, the sooner we'll be peaceful with life. That life means change. As I said, when good things are there, we don't want them to change. When bad things are there, we want to jaldi khatam kar. But time has its way of moving, and we need to come to terms with that. That change is a constant in life. And our mind works in such a way that and this is why we are always miserable, is when we are in the present, we always look at the past and think it was better. And we always worry about the future. And when after some time, the current present which I am not satisfied becomes the past, I feel, oh, those were good, better days. When it's the current present, I am thinking those previous days were better. Now after some time, when this becomes the past, I feel, yeah, 2025, अच्छा time था, अभी तो और पता नहीं क्या हो गया मेरे life में. So that's because we always want to be attached to the past. We always want to be attached to those things because the future is uncertain, I don't know. And in the current, I'm always hankering. The past is something जो fixed है. And so I feel, oh, that was better. That's time. There will never be any fixed thing. So a spiritually minded person will think, when we discuss that time constantly changes, a spiritually minded person should obviously think, then what is the need of me to get agitated? When things change, why do I feel so? I should not feel agitated. Knowing that it is going to change. At least technically I should think, ये जो अभी situation है ना, ये भी बदलेगा. And it's always going to happen like that. Till I am in the material world, time factor will act. Guess where time factor doesn't act? In the spiritual world. In the spiritual world also time is there, but it doesn't have any influence on anybody. Therefore Krishna is eternally a youthful boy. But here in this material world, time acts. In our Mumbai in 1977, when Srila Prabhupada was being taken for the last, what it happened to be the last time, from here to Vrindavan, Srila Prabhupada was so weak that he couldn't even walk. He couldn't even stand, he was so weak. So the devotees had to carry him. So they had a chair, from the car they put Prabhupada on the chair and put him to the platform. Now the problem was the entrance of the bogie of the train was so narrow that even the chair couldn't go inside. And so then one disciple, I think Brahmananda Prabhu, he carried Prabhupada in his laps. And Prabhupada is just helpless. And Prabhupada looked at Brahmananda Prabhu and he said, don't think this will not happen to you also. And even we will get old one day. Even we will go through those situations one day. and eventually, so that is the nature of time, that it constantly changes. One more feature of time is time delivers our karma to us. Time is how karma comes. This is the verse, Bhishma Dev, when Yudhishthira Maharaj came, when he was completely despondent and he couldn't get himself together, that what was the need of this war? So much destruction has happened, so much injustice has happened. And Krishna, although he could have repeated Bhagavad Gita, but he decided to guide Yudhishthira Maharaj to Bhishma Dev because he wanted to glorify Bhishma Dev. At that time, while preaching to Yudhishthira Maharaj, Bhishma Dev speaks this. Sarvam kala kritam manye bhavatam cha tad apriyam sapalo yad vashe lokyo ayod eva ghanavali. In my opinion, this is all due to inevitable time, under whose control everyone in every planet is carried, just as the clouds are carried by the wind. It is through the function of time, which changes things, that our karma comes to us. People go to astrologers. What does the astrologer do? He will, based on whatever time you're born and whatever are the constellations at that time, he makes some sort of predictions. And we may then, or people who are too much into karma kand or just too much into astrology. Astrology is actually a very, it's better to be away from it. If you are someone who gets tensed very fast, just don't get into astrology, because it can freak you out. And especially if our faith in Krishna is not very strong, we will get bewildered with astrology very, very fast. Because we will think, हाँ देखो ना, सही बात है, planet change हुआ, अभी देखो मेरे life में ये हो रहा है. And then you will start having all sorts of rings and all sort of upais and all that you will do. All it is our karma coming to us. And it comes through the function of time. When there is good karma due to us, can all of you please come little in front? So we say intuitively, मेरा अच्छा टाइम चल रहा है, इसका अच्छा टाइम चल रहा है, इसका बुरा टाइम चल रहा है. Yes? That is karma coming. Karma comes through time, and that is why it is a little bit unpleasant, because we all don't have very, very good karma, and that's why sort of we are on the earth planet. If you were to have very, 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 very good karma, it would have been some other planet. But that bad karma is required to keep us grounded and to realize that useless place. As devotees, whenever that bad karma comes, we come to that conclusion, useless place. And then we make all these promises to ourselves in our mind. I will focus fully on my spiritual life. And then the useless place after sometimes becomes not so useless, not so bad. And then we get carried away. Time factor brings our karma to us. One of the subject matters of the Bhagavad Gita is karma. That karma is intertwined with time. It comes through time. Good karma comes through time. Bad, it is delivered to us through time. That's how karma comes. So one feature of time is that it brings our karma to us. And therefore it can never be constant. It's constantly changing. And ultimately it is Krishna's energy. And that is why it is so bewildering. Time is so bewildering. We always reminisce in the past. We are always afraid of the future. The time which has not yet come, we are afraid of it. We have fear, what will happen, what will happen, what will happen. There's so much uncertainty. All that is there because that's the nature of time. Till we are in this material world, we will be influenced by this time. And now, after so many years, we should have gotten used to it. But it still bewilders us. That's the beauty of Krishna's energy. It's Krishna's energy, that's why it still bewilders us. It's time. Some realizations about the time factor. In this chapter, when we move on, the last verse we read was, what happens? What happened in the last verse when we read? Brahma dies. Even Brahma dies. Just 10 minutes back we heard. Influence of time. We forgot in 10 minutes. He started by reading that fourth verse where Maitreya Muni says that time is calculated from the atom. From the time it takes for the sun to cross one atom, that time is also measured. And that was how much? 8 divided by 13,500 seconds. And from that till where did it go, the calculation of time? And then eventually till lifetime of Brahma. Till the lifetime of Brahma, 311 trillion 40 billion. From 8 divided by 13,000 seconds to 311 trillion 40 billion years. All those verses describe all that. And then that next verse describe that Brahma bhi mar jata hai. This fellow who lives for 30, Lord Brahma who lives for 300 and if he starts playing with my karma, then I will have unpleasant days. 311 trillion 40 billion years, that demigod also, the topmost demigod in this material world also dies. And everything gets over. And then we discussed features of time. And the first one was that it is Krishna's energy. Therefore it is so bewildering. And one feature of time is that there is constant change. Constant change. And delivers our karma to us. Time delivers our karma to us. Now, if we think deeply about whatever we have discussed till now, we can come to certain realizations that will benefit our spiritual life tremendously. And it is because of this that these chapters are there in Bhagavatam. If we just read these translations, we may feel knowledge. But when we read Srila Prabhupada's purports, we can derive certain realizations from this. And when we think about it, when we discuss with devotees, we can come to some very good realizations about time factor. The 38th verse of this chapter compares Brahma's life in terms of the time aspect of Lord Krishna. How significant is Brahma's life in terms of our life? Unfathomable. So significant. So significant. Our life in terms of Brahma? Insignificant. Now, Maitreya Muni tells Vidura about Brahma's life in terms of Krishna. This is verse 38. Kaloyam dviparadhakyo Nimesha upacharyate Avyakritasya nantasya Jnanader jagadatmana. He says the duration of the two parts of Brahma's life, as above mentioned, is calculated to be 1 nimesha, less than a second, for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is unchanging and unlimited, and is the cause of all causes of the universe. Oh, second में नहीं लिखा है, उसमें लिखा है less than a second. So it's going पूरा उल्टा. No, we started from that 8 divided by 13,500 second duration of the time it takes for the sun to cross an atom to 311 trillion 40 billion years. And this is like that for the Lord, for Lord Krishna. Brahma's life, that long duration of life, in which there are, in one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus, there are 71 Manvantars, and that much is his night. And aise karke, 360 days, 100 years, that is less than a second for Lord Krishna. Now, what is our life in terms of Lord Krishna? It's insignificant. So one realization we can get from this discussion of time is, if we are just looking to further our material life, our life is insignificant for Lord Krishna. For Lord Brahma also, what to speak of for Lord Krishna. It's insignificant. So let's not feel that I am some great person. I am thoroughly insignificant. If we don't remember anything else, let us remember this today, that my material life is thoroughly insignificant. Let's have firm faith about that. Brahma का है क्या 310 trillion 40 billion पता नहीं, but my life is thoroughly insignificant. Can we all agree to that?
Yes.
It's not just, it's thoroughly insignificant. Like कुछ सोचने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. क्या फायदा सोच के? My life is thoroughly insignificant. Now, if my life is thoroughly insignificant, my material life, we're talking about material life. Do we all bother sometimes a lot about certain aspects of our material life? How many of us do? I am raising my hand. Bother about, except Krish, everyone bothers. Krish is nice devotee. He doesn't have much to bother also in his life right now. आएगा आगे. Even in student life, there is so much botheration. Let's do one simple exercise. Okay, we don't have to share with anybody. If you want, you get these screens you can put on your phone, by which even the person sitting next to you cannot see what's there on your screen. वो पूरा काला हो जाता है. So क्या बोलते हैं? Privacy screen. So nowadays we regularly have these. तो आप लोग सब वो लगा के आओ यहाँ पे. तो वो बाजू वाला क्या? You can actually be honest and right. You be honest to yourself. Now don't apply the philosophy, because we all agreed that there are things which bother us in life. You list down 3 things in your material life which are most important to you. 3 things in your material life. Not yours. Don't write chanting Hare Krishna. क्योंकि वो कई बार है भी नहीं इतना important हमारे लिए. वो 16 वाला हो जाता है तो उसमें 3 things in my material life that I take very, very seriously. Just write. You don't have to share with anybody. I'm not going to ask also. So be honest. 3 things in my material life that I take very seriously. Okay. It could be money, it could be bank balance, it could be my home, it could be some prestige, it could be whatever it could be. Some relationship, some career, some goals, some bucket list. 3 things in my material life that I take very seriously. Okay, we all have. Now, understanding that our knowing that our material life is insignificant, we have those 3 points at least. We may have many. 3 most significant, whatever it may be. Understanding that how insignificant our material life is. Can we at least work on one of these 3 points? can we at least work on one of these 3 points to reduce its importance in our life? We have 3 points which we said are the 3 most significant things in my material life. That because they are significant means I am investing my energy in it, I am investing my mental energy in it, I am investing my physical energy in it. Either I am always thinking about it or I am endeavoring a lot about it. Now, knowing that how insignificant my life is, can we all today identify at least one and give it little less importance in our life? Is it possible? How many of us say it's possible? Krish also says it's possible. So this is for our personal introspection. If it is bank balance, or if it is property, or if it is relationship, or if it is career, whatever. Understanding that it is still insignificant. Those are all for the body. That has nothing to do with Jiver, Swarup, Hoy, Krishna, Nitya Das. And knowing how insignificant those, my whole life is so insignificant, therefore those 3 points are also, can I practically, from today, try to give less energy on that? For example, if it is my career, so I will still work, but at least mentally I can give less importance to it, less energy to it. It's not going to make my career go down the drain. If my karma has to make it go down the drain, it will make it go anyway. And if my karma has to make it rise, it will make it rise anyway. But at least I can give it some less importance in my life, mentally. If my bank balance is one of the 3, what am I really so, held up about? When something has to come, it will come. When it has to go, it will go. Even if I am thinking so much about it or trying to further it, if time has to take something away, it will take it away. So at least mentally, let me not get pulled down by it. Because these things, what they do is, they are subconsciously telling that Krishna, I have more faith in these things than in you. These things are more important than you. So understanding how insignificant life is, material life, is so insignificant. Why should we, as devotees, as practicing devotees, the rest of the world, they are ignorant of these things. For them also, they are getting realizations about this again and again, but they are still ignorant. As devotees, why do we also get stuck on these things so often? Sometimes as initiated devotees also, we get stuck on these things so often. So, now we have these 3 points. Let us try mentally not to give these 3 things, or at least one of them, so much importance, knowing that it is insignificant. Knowing with time, anyway, it will go up or down. Even those people, like for example, there are people, there's at least one person in whose name there is at least one street in every city of India. And in some cities, multiple streets. How long will that last? Few hundred years? बदल देंगे नाम? Already होता है अभी. You put an application, कौन है वो? कोई नहीं जानते वो क्वालिटी का, बदल दो नाम. Now this street was earlier this, now it is so this. People's names, it's very embarrassing, when you sometimes have a puja at home and the Pandit wants to make you take sankalp and he starts asking you about, okay, what's your father's name? Okay, what's your grandfather's name? And when it comes to beyond that, it starts to great grandfather's name. If your father is there, he'll tell you. But uske baad to gone, then they will only chant some mantra which means baki sab log. But my great grandfather also probably lived a life in which many people knew him. Now nobody knows his name also. I also don't know his name. But we feel, मेरा नाम थोड़ी कोई भूलेगा. वो तो नहीं भूलेंगे वो. Great, वो time अलग था. अभी तो Instagram account तो रहेगा ना मेरा. My name will be there. 3 generations later, nobody will know my name also. Let alone what I did in life. Do you know what your great grandfather did in life? We don't even know his name. Great grandfather. They also lived, right? They lived 70, 80, 100. Probably lived more than us. Better lives than us. More content lives, right? No social media. No social media. Peaceful lives. Our life will also be like that. Probably as the ungratefulness of people is increasing, our great grandchildren will not even know that we existed. You're lucky if your grandkids after a few years of you are gone will even remember you. So insignificance. Material life is insignificant. If Lord Brahma, who lives for 311 trillion years, is less than a second for Krishna, so all these things that we consider significant in our mind, let's work on those. Let's remind ourselves it's insignificant. So therefore, when good things are there, we don't get elated. When bad things are there, we don't get disturbed. So that's the next realization. Perspective of pain and pleasure. We should view both pain and pleasure from the viewpoint of eternal time. तो कुछ नहीं है. पंडित ने बोला 7:30 चालू हो गया है. आपका तो डबल है. 15 साल. And then you will start to see. देख ये अभी चालू हुआ ना, ये देखिए हो गया ना, वो अभी चालू हो गया. पहले भी ये सब था. But now that's why I'm saying keep away from astrology. Don't get into it. It can bewilder, very strong devotees also. Keep away from it. No. Anyway, it's gonna happen, na? It's gonna happen. So why to know about it now? Something bad is gonna happen. You're just gonna think about it. My grandfather, he was a businessman, but he was a very, very good astrologer. Very, very sharp. People from everywhere used to come. They were living in Karachi. This is before the partition. Big people used to come. Please, kara do astrology. So obviously, when his kids were born, he used to do. When his 4th child was born, astrology kiya. मालूम पड़ा 20 years है खाली life. After that, he never did anyone's astrology. He said, if I wouldn't have known, at least these 20 years I would have lived nicely with her. But now it's a constant anxiety. 20 years. 15 साल, 10 साल, 5 साल, 1 साल. Like that Nala and Damayanti. हो जाएगा, अभी होगा. So why we want to know these things? And even if something good happens, then देखो मेरे कर्मों, मेरे भाग्य में था. We'll not say that time, this is the mercy of the Lord. See, Krishna is so kind, he gave me something good in my life. मेरे भाग्य, पंडित ने बोला था ना, देख आया 2025, बोला था अभी आएगा अगर अच्छा होगा, देख हो गया, प्रमोशन मिला, या ये शेयर्स बढ़ गए, या ये हुआ वो हुआ. We should view both pain and pleasure from the perspective of time. That sometimes we do think like this sometimes, that when something happens we just look at these things and think ब्रह्मा के लिए क्या है ये? कुछ नहीं है. I am into it. For me it is a big thing. What is it actually? That again, Sitoshna Sukha Dukkha. It will come, it will go. Seasons will come, go. Red alert, Monday, Tuesday, orange alert, red alert. Okay, आज धूप था. All that water got evaporated. It went. There's this story, this Chinese village. One beautiful horse just came running into this person's house, and the villagers said, "Oh wow, you're so lucky. This horse has come. You're so fortunate." And that man, he was very learned. He was very introspective. He said, "Good, bad, who knows?" And then this horse, it went one day, ran away, and they said, "Arey, itna acha horse hai, abhi chale gaya." So unfortunate. This man said, "Good, bad, who knows?" And then after a few days, this horse brought with him many other horses like him. And then he goes, अरे पहले तो एक भी नहीं था, एक आया, वो चले गया, अभी वो 6 को लेके आया. आप कितने भाग्यशाली हैं, you're so fortunate. This was a good, bad, who knows. And one day his son went riding one of those horses, broke his leg, came back injured. People said, अरे वो horse नहीं होता तो बेटा का पैर नहीं टूटता, कितना unfortunate है आपका. This fellow said, good, bad, who knows. Then the country went into war, and it was declared every able-bodied young man has to go into the army. This fellow leg is broken, cannot go. So all these people came and said, देखो आप कितने भाग्यशाली हो, उसका although कुछ बुरा हुआ उससे देखो कुछ अच्छा हो गया. And what did this man say? Good, bad, who knows? Who knows? We don't know after that what happened. But this pattern will have continued. Something good, something bad. Something good, something bad. Something good, something bad. We look at it from a macro view. In economics, you have all of you must be having some money somewhere, and you must be also reading all these things. Macro indicators, kya hai? What's the macro indicator about our life? What's the macro indicator about our material life? It is very insignificant. Micro indicator might be, अरे यार बहुत अच्छा टाइम चल रहा है, अरे यार बहुत बुरा टाइम चल रहा है. But macro indicator is कुछ नहीं है. And it's good to remind ourselves of that, even in good times. कुछ नहीं है. And in bad times, obviously it helps. Because one may think कि बोलने के लिए आसान है, कुछ नहीं है, पर है ना, कुछ तो हो रहा है ना. Okay, no one is denying that कुछ हो रहा है, but we need to think like this, that from the long-term perspective, it is nothing. Srila Prabhupada said, no, so many lifetimes we have lived, so many lifetimes we have tried to enjoy. This one life, let us tolerate all difficulties and serve Krishna. So, the perspective of pain and pleasure. Ultimately, most of the pain and pleasure is the mind telling us the अच्छा है बुरा है. The Avanti Brahmana, who had so much wealth, 11th canto, जब आप पहुंचोगे 11th canto तक, बहुत टाइम के बाद, probably if we have a lifespan of Brahma, we may reach 11th canto. ये lifespan में तो मुश्किल लग रहा है. So much sarcasm, still people don't read. So many times we keep joking these things. At least sometimes we यार बस मैं भी और क्या अभी से बोलूँगा नहीं मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ. चलने दो. हम भी हंसेंगे, वो भी हंसेंगे. Read, please read. The Avanti Brahmana, very rich but very miserly, and in due course of time, everything taken away, and then he got realization, got self-realization. And one of his realizations of life, someone who was so wealthy, and then everything taken away. Wife left him, children left him, people used to respect him because of some, out of his money, started, spitting on his face. And then he came to Krishna consciousness. That person, his realization of span of life, dukh and sukh, pleasure and pain, is mentioned in one of the very beautiful verses of the 11th canto. On the side. नायं जनो में सुख दुःख हेतुर् न देवतात्मा गृह कर्म काला न परं कारणमात्मयन्ति मन परं कारणम् आमनन्ति चक्रं परिवर्त्य येद्यत्. The Brahmana, Avanti Brahmana said, these people are not the cause of my happiness and distress. Neither are the demigods, my own body, the planets, my past work or time. Rather, it is the mind alone that causes happiness and distress and perpetuates the rotation of material life. We should take it. The time has brought me my karma, but a lot of it may not really be bad karma. It may be my mind telling me, yes, okay, I'm getting agitated unnecessarily. And that's the function of the mind. It laments about the past, it excessively desires in the present, and it fears the future. And we scratch our heads thinking, why I'm not satisfied in life. The mind always laments about the past. It's always hankering in the present. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. And it is fearing the future. The mind. So Avanti Brahmana is saying, all those days of happiness and all those days of distress, it was actually just my perspective of that which made me happy or sad. Actually, it's nothing. It's insignificant. So therefore, for progress in Krishna consciousness, a final realization about time, for us as practicing devotees, our conception of time for our material life should be a long conception. View everything from the macro perspective. It is insignificant. Good and bad both. Good, bad, who knows? So everything about our material life, we should view from this long perspective. Hare Krishna? Someone can tell them. Everything about our material life, we view from the long conception. That this is insignificant. It has no relevance from my long-term life perspective. But for my spiritual life, I should view it with urgency. Material life, I should think, but spiritual life, I should not think like that. Unfortunately, even as devotees, sometimes when our consciousness is not great, we flip it. Bhagavatam kahan ja raha hai? Long conception we take. कोई बात नहीं. आज नहीं जा पाएगा क्लास, कोई बात नहीं. Everyone, आज नहीं जा पाएगा क्लास, कोई बात नहीं. At least they are watching. Many of them are not even watching. ये यात्रा नहीं जाएंगे चलेगा. है ना, कौन सा वृंदावन कहाँ जा रहा है? Where we are going anywhere. That is long conception we take. Bhagavatam 12th canto तक पहुँचेंगे. हाँ. What's the urgency? But for our material life, we get stuck. And we start to have urgency for it. No, let me sort this out, let me do this. As if I am in control. As if I am in control. In the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we read about the 3 doers. The living entity's doership is only limited to desire. And Krishna's doership is the sanction. And ultimately everything is carried out by the modes of material nature. Depending on what mode I am in that situation, I will do something. Autopilot based on the modes. So what control do I have? So my material life I should view from this long conception. Let me not get too agitated by this. It's a long life and it's many, many lives. So this is insignificant. What am I in terms of Brahma? What am I in terms of Krishna? My material life is insignificant. But my spiritual life, with super urgency. Srila Prabhupada, I think he mentions also somewhere that, and a lot of devotees practice this, that we should chant thinking this is my last day. With that urgency. What if you get to know that chalo aaj bas 12 baje sab khatam. I'm going to leave this body. Krishna willing, all of you have healthy long lives in Krishna's service. But if that is there, then we will be very attentive. We will chant very nicely. We will read Bhagavatam very nicely. We will think अभी चलो 8 बजे 12 बजे के बाद ट्रांसलेशंस पढ़ लेता हूँ भागवतम का, आगे जाके बोलूँगा एटलीस्ट ट्रांसलेशंस पढ़ा मैंने. अदरवाइज चित्रकूट will show me प्लास्टिक लगा हुआ है अभी तक. और भागवतम सेकंड कैंटो में भी प्लास्टिक लगा है अभी तक. Spiritual life should be with urgency. That time is going to go like this. And material life should be broad viewpoint. Srila Prabhupada's life example perfectly shows these two things. When Srila Prabhupada was in his Grihastha life, so many ups and downs, was not very bothered about it. But Prabhupada showed the example in his spiritual life. Brahmananda Prabhu says, we never saw Srila Prabhupada idle. If he was not chanting his rounds, if he was not translating Bhagavatam, if he was not giving a lecture, if he was not worshipping the deity, if he was not meeting guests, then he would be chanting verses of Brahma Samhita. He would be chanting verses, King Kulashekhar's prayers. He would be chanting all these things. Shat Goswami Ashtakam. Constant spiritual sound vibration would be going on. So we have to bring this in our spiritual life. For our spiritual life, lot of urgency of time. And for our material life, this situation will also pass by. Let me not get agitated by it. The first canto, second chapter, verse 14 tells us to be urgent in our spiritual life. Tasmadekena manasa Bhagavan Sattva-kampati Shotravya kirtitavyascha Deya pujaschcha nityada. Therefore, with one pointed attention, one should constantly hear about, glorify, remember and worship the personality of Godhead who is the protector of the devotees. Let us utilize our time in this. We take care of our responsibilities, we perform our responsibilities, we perform our work, we take care of all our responsibilities, but mentally we understand, I should not get too agitated by them. I should have a long view. And I should try and extract time here, 5 minutes, there 5 minutes, and use that in Krishna's service. Here, chant, glorify, perform practical devotional service with my time. And then it is the perfect utilization of time. That is Krishna. Then that aspect of time, Krishna, is properly utilized in Krishna's service. Ultimately, time is energy of Krishna. It has to be utilized in Krishna's service. The last verse of this chapter mentions that Krishna is the only one who is beyond the conception of time. Even the topmost living entity, Brahma, is under the jurisdiction of time. But Krishna is beyond. The last verse, 42. Tadahoraksharam Brahma Sarva Karanam Vishnordhama Param Sakshat Purushasya Mahatmana. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, is therefore said to be the original cause of all causes. Thus the spiritual abode of Vishnu is eternal without a doubt, and it is also the abode of Mahavishnu, the origin of all manifestations. Therefore leave it to Krishna. बना सकते t-shirt, you can make a fridge magnet. Leave it to Krishna. That's it. Leave it to Krishna. And having a pathetic day, leave it to Krishna. Ultimately, Krishna's sanction, that is why this has happened. And having a wonderful day also, leave it to Krishna. Don't get overly elated. And remove time for Krishna. This is our devotee's perspective of time. So just to recap, features of time. Time is Krishna's energy. Time constantly changes. And what does time do? Delivers our karma to us. Some realizations. Our material life is insignificant. We need to have the right perspective of pain and pleasure, happiness and distress. And we should value our time to be used in Krishna's service. Time has to be used in Krishna's service. We, even in family life, we should value that time together and further each other's Krishna consciousness. And ultimately, Krishna is beyond time. And therefore, he is the only one worthy of taking shelter. Not the astrologer and not the astrologer's upaya. Krishna is the only one who is worthy of, he is the only one who can get me out of this situation. And I should be convinced of that. Krishna is the only one who can get me out of the situation, and therefore every I should try my best as far as possible. My time is used in Krishna's service. Srila Prabhupada writes, we'll end with this. Nothing exists without Krishna, and therefore everything, however wonderful it may appear to our mere knowledge, is but the work of the magical wand of the Supreme Lord. All this is Ekam Stena Sthito Jagat. This is Krishna's wand. And that wand, Krishna's flute, when it plays, the gopis are attracted, the cowherd boys are attracted, the cows are attracted. Similarly, the transcendental sound vibration of the Mahamantra, of the Bhagavatam, of Krishna's teachings have the potency to attract us. We just need to expose ourselves to that, and we need to have it in proper perspective that all these material things I'm worrying about are actually not very significant from a long-term perspective. So those three things we will work on, and we will work on giving more time to our spiritual life. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Prabhu, if we see time from a very insignificant, or our life from very insignificant way, let's say it's every moment it's not possible because we are forgetful. But if one tries to do that consciously, and they eventually become pessimist, or they are pessimist naturally, then they would say life is futile.
But why
Right.
would we become pessimistic?
That there's no meaning to doing even my work, right? Or anything, even service.
No.
Let's say because they don't have understanding of what is their duty towards life.
If they
right?
don't have, then
Yeah.
but the same Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says also that we
Correct.
perform our duty.
Yeah.
So, as I said, we do all those things, but the results of that, those we consider as insignificant. So therefore, as a material life, it actually is insignificant. But see, if I am really convinced of it, there will be some natural vairagya which will come. But that natural vairagya comes with some level of maturity. And then maturity will make me continue to do my responsibilities and duties nicely. The only thing is that baggage goes away. And that baggage is what actually makes me feel happy or sad. It's not the responsibility that makes me happy. Many times, it's not the responsibility of raising my kids which is making me happy. It's the good and bad things that happen with it which I identify more with. So, if I can develop some natural responsibility towards that and a level of sense of detachment, then that's what, a mature devotee will come to that conclusion. An immature conclusion would be like what would be natural for many would think that the pessimistic view, this is all futile, this is all useless and all. But the fact is that is not sustainable. I may think like that for 1 day, 2 days, after a while, then I get into it again. But if I contemplate on this again and again and again, so when those good and bad come, at least I will, no problem, let me not get disturbed by it. At that time, I apply this conception of that long, broad view. Okay, no problem. I'm having a rough patch in a relationship. With time, it will go away. So that's all. No question? Yes, Madhuri?
In terms of the size of an atom and the size of the Atma, what is the comparison there?
Atma is 1/10,000th part of a tip of a hair.
Yes.
The atom was 1/1000,000th of a meter.
I mean, I'm just trying to understand what's bigger or smaller.
How does that help?
I don't know.
Both are immeasurable. Yes, Vikas Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for. So these are the little points which will help us eventually if I can implement this, that insignificance of real life. But when you ask about those 3 points that to which we are attached, so at times, as you mentioned, that we can see with the macroscopic view of our life. But at times our mind is so sharp that it will go and it will again interplay that macroscopic view, and then it will level. So what I try to do is, as you were mentioning, that I quote some verses and I keep it handy for that. So I'm just trying to understand that whether we can do that. That is fine doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or you can suggest something.
No,
like
see, we have to, we recite, no? Nashta prayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. Again and again, again and again. That is why we have the books, that is why we have the lectures, that's why Srila Prabhupada has created this wonderful system where in the morning you chant the Guru Ashtakam prayers, again and again you're reminded of that. Then you read Bhagavatam, you bow down to the spiritual master, you honor Prasad, you chant those prayers, you read Bhagavad Gita, you chant your rounds, you congregate, you meet, you take darshan, you bow down, you again and again. And this goes on every day we do it. At home, sometimes when we come to the temple we do it, we go on yatras, we cut ourselves off so that we can focus more, go deeper in our life, in our spiritual life. People go deeper and deeper in material life. We go, sometimes if you think back, you think, my life was so uncomplicated 20 years back. Take his example again. At his age, he's 16 years old. At his age, that time we used to think, अरे यार क्या tension है यार, 16 years, the 4th standard अच्छा था, 11th, 10th standard. And when you go to college, you feel, अरे वो school भी अच्छा था यार, college में और सब और इतना सारा pressure आता है ये. Now you will think, अरे that 16-year-old life was so carefree. So, with our material life, we'll keep going deeper and deeper and getting entangled. We should actually go deeper and deeper into our spiritual life. We should be contemplative about what we read. We should be contemplative about these things. Because that's where realization is born. Realization is not just born by hearing someone else's realization, or just with a moment of vairagya, or some moment of elation in a yatra, or in a kirtan, or in a class. One moment of elation, that time we've all felt those moments where I feel the perfect place. Thank you, Krishna. But then, if we are contemplative about our spiritual life, then those moments will become stronger. So it requires constantly reminding ourselves. It's guaranteed. If we don't go and look at those 3 points again, after we will forget also मैंने क्या 3 point लिखा था, let alone कि I should not consider it significant. So it requires. That is why we say, read every day Prabhupada's books, read. Guarantee those who read Prabhupada's books every day attentively will come across so many wonderful things that will make our faith in Krishna stronger. And our faith in the material world a little weaker. We should do it. So repetition, that's what you said, that has to be done. Yes, Swapnil.
Guruji, being inquisitive about this time, science speaks about that we have very limited, the earth itself has a limited time, and humans probably 500 million, when the sun itself will become a red hot and everything will evaporate, and probably life on earth will be impossible. But when we talk about time as an insignificant, the time factor what we just came to know. So a very late question is, simple question is, humans, how long humans are going to be there? What Shastra tells about that, how long we are going to be there in this.
So in the 12th canto of Bhagavatam, this is also described that human beings will be there till the end of Kali Yuga, and then everything will get destroyed. But at the end of Kali Yuga, the average height will be 2 feet. The average age will be like 10-12 years. Someone lives for more than 12 years will be considered very old. There will be no vegetation. Humans will have to eat each other. There will be scorching heat. There will be no rain. The land will be completely barren. This is what will happen at the end of Kali Yuga. So human beings will evolve into that. And so only those very impious living entities will be there at that time. And then again Satyug will start, and those pious souls will come. The impious souls who are left will go to some other planet where there is Kali Yuga going on. And so, so we discussed Brahma's day. 14 Manvantaras is Brahma's day. So in Brahma's night, all the 3 planetary systems are inundated with water. And only Janalok, Maharlok and Brahmalok remain. So the pious living entities of other lokas get transferred there. And everything else is inundated in water. All those souls go work, merge back into the body of Mahavishnu. And then after those 14 Manvantaras get over, Brahma wakes up, his alarm clock rings, he wakes up. Then again all that inundation goes, and again these 3 planetary, the 3 planetary systems below, heaven, middle and hell, they get recreated and the population starts again. All this is there. The practical thing in that is we should not really get very agitated about what's happening in our material life right now. It doesn't mean we should not responsibly do things. We should definitely responsibly do things, but let's not, that mental baggage, let's not carry that. Let's not get agitated by that. Knowing how insignificant that is. Someone may think, I have to raise kids, how can you say that's insignificant? That's not insignificant. We have to do it. But the whole baggage that comes with it, which is what we identify with, that is insignificant. That we should not get carried away by. Okay, thank you very much. There are some announcements. One is that next Saturday is Radha Ashtami, appearance of Srimati Radharani, fast till noon. We have a wonderful, Radha Ashtami is the most spiritually power-packed event in ISKCON Juhu, because we start with Shobha Yatra to Juhu Beach. If it's raining, then Shobha Yatra around Hare Krishna land of Radha Rasbihari, and then there is new dress darshan, and then there is Sunday, no? Next Sunday. Sunday, Saturday, next Sunday. Next Sunday is Radha Ashtami, 31st. So, and then there is new dress darshan, then class on Srimati Radharani, 11 o'clock there is Abhishek, and then 4 o'clock there is flower dress darshan, and 7:30 there is boat festival. So all the events happen on Monday. That's Srimati Radharani's mercy. So please do participate. We'll also have a festival at our temple in Bhiwandi. There will be Abhishek at 11 o'clock. Anyone wishes to come there, you're welcome to come. ISKCON Bhiwandi is known for its feasts. Those who came on Prabhupada appearance day, Yagyapati Prabhu, you had nice feast?
Yes.
Amazing feast. We brought some of those kachoris back here and everyone was saying, yaar, aana chahiye tha udhar, acha kachori. So, that is Radha Ashtami. Next Saturday, I don't know if we will be able to have class, because whenever they make flower dress, they make it in this hall. So we may not have, but we'll see. Today's prasad has been sponsored by somebody who wants to be anonymous. So we pray for this wonderful devotee, his wife, his children, that may Lord Krishna bless them. May Lord Krishna bless them that they can use their time in his service, and may they be blessed with pure devotional service. Let's do that by once chanting the holy names.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram.